So we saw in class today what a radian is when we took that string and wrapped it around our circle. I'm just going to start off section 13.3 for us by writing out a definition of what a radian is. So a radian is the angle formed by wrapping a radius around a circle. And we saw also that 3 and a little more of those radians would fit inside half of a circle, which is pi. So 2 pi radians would be a full circle. And kind of comparing that back to something that we know already, a full circle we also know is 360 degrees. So 2 pi radians equals 360 degrees. And that's one of our main important notes here, is that 2 pi radians is 360 degrees. So a lot of what we do here with radians, or at least to get us started with radians, is to convert between degrees and radians. So that's what we're going to see in example 1. Converting between degrees and radians. I'm going to do 2 pieces here. First of all, what is the degree measure of 7 pi over 30 radians? Okay. So that's a pretty strange measurement right now. 7 pi over 30 radians? Well, 2 pi radians is a full circle. That's 360 degrees. Well, how are we going to figure out how many degrees that is? What we want to do is we want to start off with our radian measure, what we know, 7 pi over 360. And we want to multiply by some conversion factor. Now, our conversion factor comes from the fact that 2 pi radians equals 360 degrees. So if 2 pi radians equals 360 degrees, that means 2 pi over 360 is the same thing as 1. And we can also go the other way. 360 over 2 pi is also 1, because these are the same thing. 360 degrees, 2 pi radians. 2 pi radians, 360 degrees. They're the same thing. So we want to multiply by some conversion factor. Oops, I wrote 360 here. That should be 7 pi over 30. Okay. We have to multiply by some conversion factor where our radians are going to cancel out. So if I know my radians already, I want to use the conversion factor where my number of radians is on the bottom, and that's this guy right here. Multiply by 360 over 2 pi. And again, I'm using this one instead of the green one because I'm starting off with radians. I want my radians to be on the bottom. And now I can multiply this out. So 7 times 360. Pretty big number there. 7 times 360 is 2,520 over 30 times 2 is 60 pi. We have a pi on the top. Those pi's are going to cancel out. And we just have to simplify that 2,520 divided by 60. They both end in zeros, so I know they're both divisible by 10. It's 252 over 6. Let's see if that divides. And it does. It's 42 degrees. So we get 42 degrees. All right, one more going the other direction. If I have 60 degrees, what is that radian measure? So what is the radian measure? Of 60 degrees. Well, we start off with what we have. I have 60 degrees. And I want to multiply by my conversion factor so that my degrees cancel out. So I need the conversion factor where my number of degrees is on the bottom. And that's this green guy right here, the 2 pi over 360. Because then those degrees, those labels cancel each other out. If you compare this to if you're in chemistry, dimensional analysis, it's the same idea there. So then 60 is really 60 over 1. Multiply across, 60 times 2 is 120 pi over 360. This 120 over 360, well, they're both divisible by 10 because they both end in zeros. It's 12 pi over 36. 12 over 36 is 1/3. 1 pi over 3. 60 degrees is pi over 3 radians.